understand everybody's going to have an agenda, but understanding like how to use this information and this tech to better like ourselves, our families, and the people that we're connected to. And I think that the 2.0 transition is something great that everybody should look forward to, and bring in people that never heard about what we're talking about, so that we can really like educate and empower and just literally just change people's lives with, information that people are totally oblivious about. And there's a lot of different, I would say, like, deception and just keep people in the places that they are, from being able to, like, prosper. And I'm excited about, the tour to be able to travel and communicate what we're into and how to understand how that can, change what that person's doing, and how they can apply it and learn about it themselves. I just think that it's just something like, it's just going to be like the firecracker to, the whole explosion of what's to come as far as like the tech wave and the hubs around the country and around the world. So I'm excited to be a part.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this, Blue. We are excited that you are a part of this. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, ladies like yourself, ladies like Tia, Sharita, Cass, we got a strong team. So going out there in the streets, speaking to the people, speaking to the students, speaking to the adults, speaking to the politicians, we all have a job to do. Like I said, man, we are the Web3 Avengers. You know what I'm saying? So thank you again. Thank you again. And also, I gotta give a big shout out to my guy Just Cheese, man. We are here at the Rice Center, and we got some dope 3D printed items for y'all, mint and marquee. Speaking of 2.0, we got a new website, y'all. So check out the Mint and Marquee website if you're interested in any 3D rendering files, if you have a 3D printer. If you don't, if you just want some cool 3D printed items, whether it's for collecting, whether it's for promoting your brand or your business. You see, I'm holding up our trusty Lucky Bitcoin Gnome. This is actually one of my favorites. This is like the OG one. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, well, we got our link in the. Yes, sir. Cheese is about to drop the link on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? And we looking a little spiffy today. Cheese got the AI braids in. You know what I'm saying? I got my hair retwisted, so we damn near photo shoot ready, man. This is great energy to bring in, the next part of the year, man. So summer is officially about to start June 21st. So shout out to everybody who celebrate the summer solstices. You know what I'm saying? If you tapped in. Also, shout out to the New York Knicks. That's right. We know the Knicks was going to the finals. They swept the last two teams. But we finally found out who our opponent is. We're going to be facing Wembanyama and them Spurs, man. So it's going to be a great finals. It's going to be two young teams in the finals, man. Shout out to OKC. They probably going to get rid of their center because that dude folded like an envelope, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too far into the... Y'all know I love basketball, man. But I was very, very amused and thrilled by the new cast of NBA players out there, man. The new young players, man. So I'm super, super excited. My money on the Knicks. And I should have did it today, but I like to make my bets live. You know what I'm saying? But man, last night I just made a bet, and as soon as I made the bet, I was like, damn, I should have made it on the par because I made all of my other bets on the par. But you already know who I put my money with. My money is going with the Knicks.
You work the Knicks, baby.
You already know. So, we got the Jalen Brunson jersey over here. You know what I'm saying? 3D printed. And we got the Victor Wembanyama 3D printed jersey in the frame over here too. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, you know we ready for the World Cup. So not only are we ready for the NBA Finals, we ready for the World Cup. So we got these exclusive Lionel Messi gold. They're not even trophies, but they look like trophies, but it's like a bust. All right, so it's a bust of Lionel Messi, and he's sitting on top of a soccer ball with a beautiful, setup for it, man. So it's a gold. It's nice and shimmery, man. So yeah, man. So shout out to the Knicks. We gonna take this, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. I'll probably make another bet on Polymarket. I'm gonna keep one on Calcium, one on Polymarket, man. So Cheese, how you feeling? What's going on with you? What do you feel about ABC 2.0? What do you feel about Mint and Marquee and the rest of this year? How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good. I feel good about ABC 2.0. I think the energy, I would say, let's say the website is a lot more alive now, and having the ability to go somewhere where you can check what's going on a weekly basis. You can see who's in the community. You can see what actions we're taking, and there's a lot of other stuff that's actually even in the work. We got the tour, and that's just one thing amongst other things that we got. Proactively speaking. So we're really putting the gas putting the foot on the gas intentionally. I would say, especially doing stuff at home, right? Meaning like the entire needs to feel this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm actually super interested in the cities that we're gonna go to on this tour, man. Getting out there, being able to speak to the people, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So I feel you on that, man. So, man, will there be any kind of Skylark integrations into this tour? Maybe some of the locations, the cities that we go to. Maybe if people pull up, and they are part of the workshop or however we decide to roll it out. Will there be anything that you're gonna incorporate with Skylark, or you haven't got that far yet?
Yeah, no, we got some things that I was thinking about that I was telling Tia about. So, but I'm gonna have it put actual pen to paper and make it work. But yeah, got some things in the works.
Dope. So yeah, y'all. Cheese posted it on the page so y'all can check out the new ABC 2.0. That's atlantachain.io for those that haven't tapped into the website, or if you're watching us on YouTube and IG, because we finally got IG right. I don't know what's going on the past couple of weeks with IG, but we finally got them right. But yeah, y'all, check out atlantachain.io for all the updates that we got going on as far as the Atlanta Blockchain Center. And check out mintonmarquee.xyz, y'all. So y'all can see the new website and place your order. You get 10% off. Web3 fam is the discount code for 10% off for all first-time buyers on the website, y'all. And if you got questions about any custom 3D prints, there's an order form, so you can fill that out, and we will definitely tap in with you and get that done for you, all right? So, with that being said, also, I can't lie, man. This week, I can't even say we've been cooking this week. It's just that this week ends off halfway through the year. This is the last day of May, all right? But the TCK Web3 News Roundtable, we've been doing this for 120 episodes. We are 5 years deep in doing this, so we're 5 years deep in doing news, broadcasting, and giving you great content to stay up to date on what's going on in this space. But we've been doing this podcast for 2 years now, yo. Because we started it 2 years ago in the spring, and it was the brunch or something like that, right? Yeah, it was like the brunch, man. So, I'm happy about our progress, man. We are cooking. We are steady cooking, y'all. So, with that being said, let's talk about the topics, man. All right. So, some of the topics that we're going to discuss today is the United States seizing nearly $1 billion in crypto from some people in Iran. So that's kind of ill. I like how they did it. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the SEC suing a Texas man over an alleged $12 million AI crypto trading bot fraud. So, yeah, this dude is in hot water, and what he did, it's your typical crypto pyramid scheme. He just got more sophisticated using AI. And also, we're going to talk about Paxo becoming the first blockchain native firm approved as the SEC, right, said that they're good to go as a clearing agency. So I'm happy about that. Shout out to Paxos, man. And the tit for tat with Jamie Dimon and Brian Armstrong. They've been going at it. You know what I'm saying? And, Jamie Dimon, man, he's the CEO JP Morgan. He's representing the banks, man. So he don't like the stablecoin rewards. So, he basically was trying to throw Brian Armstrong and the whole crypto industry under the bus for stablecoin rewards. So they got into it. And our last story we're going to talk about is Sui. We talked about this Thursday. They had an outage on their network. And guess what? It happened the next day. 2 days back to back. Sui, I don't know what's going on with that protocol, but y'all need to tighten up. You heard? So yeah, y'all. Those are some of the topics that we're going to talk about. So let's get into the details, y'all. So let's set it off talking about the U.S. says it has seized nearly $1 billion in cryptocurrency tied to Iranian financial networks as part of a broader sanction enforcement campaign called Operation Economic Fury. All right, highlighting how digital assets are becoming a central battleground in geopolitical and financial warfare. Okay, according to Scott Bessent, he's the Treasury Secretary. U.S. authorities directly took control of crypto wallets allegedly connected to Iran's sanctions, evasion operations, shadow banking systems, oil revenue channels, and overseas financial infrastructure, with some wallet holders reportedly unaware of their assets had already been confiscated. Wow. Like a thief in the night, yo. The operation follows months of increased scrutiny around Iranian linked crypto activity involving stablecoins like USDT and the Tron ecosystem and exchanges allegedly tied to sanctioned businessman Babcock. He got a terrible name. I don't know. I don't want to butcher his name, but this businessman, he was affiliated with some of these exchanges. All right. So it looks like, I know Marlon, he had discussed when Starter Labs had a couple of individuals who were working for North Korea. But the discussion Marlon had with the FBI was how they get the data to track these individuals down. So I thought that was interesting. But it looks like the same techniques were used here to track down these wallets, all right, that were trying to avoid sanctions. Didn't work. So you try to be off the grid, and they actually came after those guys and confiscated $1 billion in crypto. Now I'm curious to see what our government is going to do with all of this crypto, because they didn't name the cryptocurrencies that they confiscated. We don't know if it's stable coins. They did say Tron and USDT, but what about Bitcoin? What about Ethereum? And if so, where are we going to park this? Do you think we're going to add this to our crypto reserve? Because we're looking at a Bitcoin reserve, but I don't know about the United States actually having an assortment of cryptocurrencies that they're sitting on. I can imagine they do from, illegal drug transactions and all this other stuff. But I got to ask my co-host and my listeners, what's your thoughts on the United States being able to actually confiscate crypto from wallets, all right, that were tied to avoiding sanctions? So who want to take this first? Cheese or Blue?
I can go first.
You want to go first? All right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it does make you wonder who's running this show, right? Like, at the end of the day, we all know certain wallets or tokens or assets have backdoors,
Mm.
right? So like if Tether wanted to get to you, Tether can get to you,
Mm.
and Tether works in compliance with like Tether will comply with the United States government, right? Same thing with Tron. Um, but then we have a lot of different assets that are like super decentralized that no one, like owns supposedly, like Bitcoin, right? And in those instances where, once your wallet is cracked, meaning like once any party, reveals your private keys, right? Whether it may be Tether or any other entity, then everything in that wallet is, fair game.
Mm.
But my point is like it's not going to be a matter of like which assets will comply. It's just a matter of is your wallet accessible
Mm.
by 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 is your wallet or is your identity at exposed or in like uh, or has anything that could be tracked, right? Asset and identity.
Nah, that's right, Cheese. If you got your personal identity tied to any of these wallets, yeah, they definitely gonna be able to, track you down and actually go ahead and confiscate some of that crypto. Now it was funny that they did it so slick that some of the people that got their crypto confiscated, they didn't even know that it happened till after. Who knows? They probably heard through the news and then like, oh shit, let me check my wallet. You know what I'm saying? So that was crazy. Blue, what's your thoughts? And then we have an individual by the name of Herb GPT. How you doing, Herb? We're gonna bring you up to the stage so you can share your thoughts. Blue, the floor is yours.
For sure. And I think we all know who Herb is too. That's our homie. Miss you, Herb. um, this is where it gets interesting. There's different moves that were made by releasing certain individuals from jail. And there's a reason for that because we seized $1 billion in crypto. However, no one knows where that crypto is. It's not publicly announced. And there's a reason for that. We're going to start seeing a lot of announcements, but there's going to be a lot of seizing of crypto assets from other small countries that don't have the power to fight back. And then when it comes to the United States, this back and forth with like Coinbase is kind of funny. It's kind of like the same thing that you saw happen with Elon and Trump's relationship. It was like there's like smoke signals that they throw up and some things that they use to deter you from really knowing what's happening. So Ross getting out and some others getting out to be able to learn how to shield transactions. And that has been taking place for a while. But my take basically is it's more than just, hey, crypto is like this niche thing. It's real. All the countries are acknowledging these assets that people used to make fun of us about. And now we're going to start seeing the government kind of like manipulate this technology to kind of like overpower these countries like they have been doing before, and us now too.
Blue, you brought up some great points, man. This is financial warfare at its finest, man. And you also highlighted something that I mentioned too. Where's the United States parking that crypto? What are they gonna do with that? Are they gonna put it in a cold storage wallet? Are they gonna put it on a centralized exchange like Coinbase? Like, what are they gonna do with this? So I'm curious, but great points, and we will see if there are any other countries that is on the radar for the United States to try to do something like this, you know. But man, shout out to Trump on this particular thing. I'm gonna give him props where props is due. It's even though what I'm about to say isn't directly crypto related, we know Trump is in the trenches when it comes to crypto. He's doing something that I felt like it should have been done a long time ago. He basically sent out a tweet saying that what? He wants to see how much gold is actually in Fort Knox. He wants that to be audited. They said Fort Knox has not been audited in over 70 years. So, because we're what? Knocking on $40 trillion in national debt that probably won't ever be paid off. No pun intended, there's a big payoff sign behind us. Um, I'm curious. I'm curious to see if he'll be able to get this done. You know what I'm saying? If there will be an official audit of the gold. Because, I mean, shit, if we $39 trillion in debt, I think we might need to start cashing in on some of this gold that we sitting on, you know. I believe Cynthia Loomis said it was held to like the 1970s value of gold, which is probably like like $50 an ounce or something crazy like that. So very interested to see where that crypto will be parked. So I will be monitoring the situation. And we got our guy. I don't know if I should say his government name, but this is our guy. He's an author, Crypto A to Z. He is a member of the ABC family. You know, he went back to the West Coast. What's going on with you, bruh? How you doing? I'm not gonna say your government name. I'm just call you the Herb GPT, man. You know what I'm saying? But what's going on, brother? Good to see you back. You know, tapped in with us, man. How you feeling?
Oh no, I'm doing good, man. No, my other Twitter got like I can't get into it anymore for some reason. But no, I'm Larry. You can say my government name. I'm not doing anything too crazy. But yeah, congratulations, man, on the anniversary and everything. Super excited for ABC 2.0. Definitely still involved. I'm gonna be down there for the tour, at least the first one in Augusta. But yeah, man, proud of you guys. You can see the growth, and you could definitely see how things are coming together. So when everybody says, you know, it was just luck or you know it just happened, you'll definitely know that it was a lot of work put into it. So super proud of everyone. So I just wanted to say that. But yeah, no, as far as the thing with Iran, like Cheese said, I mean, if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. And I think Blue mentioned it too, which is crazy to even think about. Like, it's people like that's like working for governments and like these huge organizations. Like I think it was like the Revolutionary Guard or something, right? And you doing all of this stuff in a war, and you holding your crypto on Tron. Like what? Like who's running? Like what are we even talking about? Like nobody told you to do something a little more secure than that. You know what I mean? So it's like this is freaking crazy. It's crazy when you think about it. But I think Blue mentioned too, which is a good point. Like we're gonna start seeing a lot of stuff get cleaned up. Like a lot of loose ends get tied up. You know, which is fair, right? Like it's like the Wild West. Like people were living out there doing your thing, but like when it's time for civilization to come in, like you gotta clean up the streets. You feel me? Like the Olympics. We're about to have the Olympics in LA, and you could tell that they're doing things to like clean everything up. So I think seizing a lot of these like funds from these rogue organizations or places is going to be happening. And honestly, I think a lot of that crypto is getting kept. Like to T Gold's point, man, bro, we're dealing with Donald Trump. If you think it, like if $1 billion of crypto runs across the table, and Trump is the president, like he got a whole list, bro, is pocketing this stuff. I think, you know, so that's it.
Yo, that's funny, yo. Yo, I got Larry said that Trump might be pocketing the crypto, man. I wouldn't doubt it, man. You know, he's a shyster, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's funny, but I appreciate your thoughts. I appreciate you tapping in, man. And how you doing, man? What's going on the West Coast, man? You been tapped in with Stand With Crypto, that chapter out there? And did you go to the Bitcoin Pizza Day? Like, what's going on with you, Larry?
No, I didn't go to the pizza day, but I've been to a couple of things with the chapter out here. So just working on some stuff really for myself on the education tip, and a couple of things that I'm trying to get together. But still fighting a good fight, man. I haven't really been on social media as much, but still definitely fighting a good fight. Super proud of Tia too. I don't know if I shouted that out, but definitely proud of her for being president, or being nominated as president for the Georgia chapter. But my heart is still with y'all. So to be honest with you, and just being completely transparent, the work that I want to do with, education, even with staying with crypto, to be honest with you, my priority is still, you guys. But everything is going good, man. I'm doing really well.
Dope. Good to hear,
Yo,
man.
that's excellent to hear, man. That's excellent to hear. Cheese, you wanna say?
No, I was just saying that's good to hear you, man.
That's
You
right.
too, my brother. I've definitely been keeping up, man. I'm proud of you guys. Super, super proud. Super proud.
Well, thank you, man. We look forward to you coming back to the A, man. You know what I'm saying? And seeing the new facility. We at the Rice Center. Obviously we're not in Buckhead anymore. And it was funny too because Leo, he posted the new, I guess, sign. And I was curious. I'm like, yo, where's the old Atlanta Blockchain Center sign? I mean, did they just throw that away? That would have been a nice little, the business sign in front of the building. It was the actual name on the
concrete.
Yeah, on the concrete
It's
slab.
still there.
It is?
Yeah.
All right, because Leo just sent me a photo and it was a brand new logos up there. We ain't straight right now. You know what I'm saying? The Rice Center is dope, man. So, like, when you get out here, man, I'm sure you're going to be, pleased to see the new facility. And we're just operating out of here temporarily until Marlon actually finds a building that he can actually purchase. We about ownership around here. So, that's what's up, man. Good to hear you, brother. Good to hear from you, man. So, yo, we're going to tap into the next couple of stories, man. I thought this one was pretty interesting as well, too. And this goes for all my developers out here, man. They watching. All these developers, man, they watching. They got their eyes on them. So I'm gonna tell you like this. This next story involves a man in Texas who did a crypto scheme. All right. So the SEC has charged a Texas resident by the name of Nathaniel Fuller with allegedly running a $12 million crypto fraud scheme that promised investors massive returns through supposedly an AI-powered crypto trading bot and automated arbitrage systems. So according to regulators, Fuller used companies like Privy Investments and Gateway Digital Investments to market unrealistic profits, sometimes even claiming returns of 40 to 100% within weeks, while falsely telling investors their funds were protected by FDIC insurance and security bonds. Right? The SEC alleges that most investor money was never used for legitimate crypto trading, with millions instead diverted for personal expenses and payments to earlier investors in a Ponzi style structure. Okay. Investigators also claim Fuller distributed fake account statements, fabricated performance reports, and AI generated documents to reassure investors and hide mounting losses. Yo, this continued to happen, man. It don't even matter if we in a bear market or in a bull. There's gonna be scammers. There's always gonna be people who do some nefarious shit in crypto. So, Nathaniel Fuller, man, $12 million. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Because now your name is in the mud, bro. So I gotta ask my listeners. I gotta ask my co-host. I don't know what the name of his platform was, but I'm sure that there are other platforms that might be running the same kind of play. All right. And you got to be vigilant. You got to be very mindful of where you're parking your crypto when these people are promising crazy returns. That should be your first red flags. We saw that with Celsius. They were promising crazy yield, but sorry, they got caught up and they shut down and they had to pay multi-millions of dollars, in fines. And Alex Mashinsky, I think he got to do 12 years in jail or something like that. So, Blue, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I mean, Okay, first, my question is, like, who were the individuals that they were able to kind of like hoodwink? Because they're saying 40 to 50% returns in 30 or 45 days. That's red signals like crazy. More than 100% returns in less than a month for some investors. Like, AI is definitely like the new tool that people are using to create fraud. And they kind of weave some of these other technologies in, to get people. It's really about like the lack of transparency, but also like just the lack of knowledge and how to apply that knowledge. Because like built-in risk management through stop loss programs to limit losses. Investor frauds were supposedly protected by insurance and other safeguards. Like, what? And then the AI bots, air quote, were, designed and coded for all these wonderful things, and those bots couldn't do anything. And a lot of people are going to start pushing out platforms talking about how these AI agents are going to be acting on your behalf, and bring you back all this passive income. And it's not. There are going to be a lot of individuals that are going to be scammed and fraud, times 10 than what we're used to. If you have like older individuals in your family, you need to have like some kind of safe word, because people can't copy your voice, people can't copy your mannerisms, and those like loved ones will not know whatsoever. So it's like everybody needs Larry's book flat out, because it's like there should be a checklist of 10 things to check. If they don't pass that checklist, you shouldn't engage with it. But that's my take.
Blue, great point. Great point. And also, we got NFTia. She's on the floor. We're going to let her share her thoughts, and then we're going to round it off with Cheese. NFTia, appreciate you popping up on the pod today. I know you were at the rally. How did that go? And we talked about ABC 2.0, so you can share your thoughts on all of that.
Oh yeah, I didn't end up going to the rally, but so I don't have any feedback on that. I was gonna go. Life had different plans for me. I'm gonna say that. In terms of ABC 2.0, I'm excited. I'm super excited. Like I see like all the work that's being done behind the scenes, and surface level it looks like it's a lot of work, but even behind the scenes there's so much more that's going into what ABC is about to look like a week from now, or a month from now, or by 2026. So it's just exciting to see the evolution. And then also from this year, where a lot of people, there was uncertainty, like what's going to happen, and now there's this new invigoration in the community where I feel like everyone is excited for what's to come. And then the second part about why I'm so super excited about what's going on with the ABC is I was having this conversation with Joanne Holmes yesterday. After her interview was so good. I'm on the other side of the door listening, and I'm low key getting a bit emotional because it's that good. And then I had to take a moment, and I'm like, damn, Tia, none of this is like, this is none of your effort. This is like, we are just being led and we're actually moving our feet according, because the timing, whether it's how the election is, the Clarity Act, the tour, the interviews, whatever is going on, and how the timing, all the way down to the orange couch that they sat on, and being in sync with the ABC new branding. None of this is like, everything is just so divinely ordered, I feel, right now. And so that's probably, not probably, I had to take a moment and really give praise to the Most High, because it's like, okay, Tia, you definitely been putting in work. The community's definitely been putting in work, showing up. But I feel right now that this is just God carrying us, and making sure this thing is written in a way where He can get the glory from it. And so that's been my like epiphany for the last 24 hours. In terms of the fraud, just a quick, simple bar. All these communities keep having all these hacks and frauds. I ain't seen none of that out of ABC 10 and 5.
That's right. Let's go. Let's fucking go, man. We know that, nothing is perfect with any entity, but what we got here, we are thorough. We make sure that what we do, we educate ourselves, we educate our community, we keep each other in the loop, we support each other's platforms and brands, and just to see, your ideas, because, I saw the photos. Photos look phenomenal. Can't wait to hear, the content and see the videos. I'm so looking forward to that. But, having you being the president of the Georgia chapter for Stand with Crypto, this is a new moment, not just for you, but just another opportunity for ABC to show the world what we're made of. You know what I'm saying? So I like the game plan, the strategy, that you're moving with right now, especially, everything is being revamped. You know what I'm saying? This is a makeover, and this is evolution, So, but yeah, AI to help with these schemes and scams, we're gonna see this shit being, you know, cranked up a lot more, man. And we have developers who use AI. Marlon uses AI. I know Tia, you use AI for DocuHero. Shout out to DocuHero too. And we gotta make this announcement on here. Tia, her platform that she actually created, DocuHero, it's being integrated in the state of Ohio. Do you want to speak on that right now, or what? How you want to handle that?
Yeah, I can do a quick little reference to that.
Yes,
So,
please.
Yeah. So, the platform that I'm building is called DocuHero, and it is for home-based care businesses, which have a heavy lift in terms of documentation and compliance, essentially. And so, what we do, how the software works, you speak it, and our system automates what's called EVV, electronic verification. Visit verification, monthly logs, and then in the very near future, it's going to be able to automate the billing process. And that's for the state of Ohio. Now, it was a heavy lift to get certified, because they already have what's called a rate for proposal for each state to provide EVV services. So to be a third-party vendor, they put you through a lot of rigor to be able to accomplish that. And it was literally almost a year process to get there, and then 2 months worth of demos, 5 demos, which no company has had to, I don't think, had to go through as much rigor, because we initially passed our first couple of demos, but then once they realized it was AI, they wrote, and they didn't have compliance framework to regulate AI for that type of software. So they had to build it on the fly, and then we had to demo our AI 2 more times, and officially, in doing so, officially being the first platform to provide automated services, use automation and AI to achieve those documentation requirements, which obviously is going to save these businesses time and money. So it was huge. And nobody really knows, like I talk about AI, but nobody really knows the secret sauce is really using blockchain for the records and recording the data and the entries for 100% verifiable proof. So
Yo, that's fire. That's fire. If I had my air horns ready, you would get the air horns, man. But I can tell you like this, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. And I just know that this is just the beginning. And if one state adopts this, you got 40 other non-states that will follow suit because you're bringing, the medical industry up to date. You're providing the evolution of keeping up with all of this documentation, putting it on chain and using AI to help, just put all of this together. So we super, super proud of you. Hey, all of us wear multiple hats. I don't know one person at ABC who's building that wear one hat. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just facts. That's just super facts. So yeah, man, we got to, again, Tia, congratulations on that. X Cheese, what's your thoughts on this guy using these AI bots, to tell people, hey, you can get 40 to like 100% yield on your investments. And I know that you got Skylark, that platform, and having AI, it makes your job easier. But what do you think about platforms like this that people have been taking advantage of?
I'm not surprised. It was happening before. This just made it easier for people to get scammed on. And the issue really is more so that people want to believe that AI is the answer. So if I tell you I got this AI for sale, right, then you want the AI. So meaning like there's just going to be a lot of people that utilize AI as a form of deception, really, because people want AI, generally speaking.
Nah, Cheese, that's a great point, man. Now, a lot of people, they jump when they hear the word AI, in a positive way. We see what the market has been doing. The S&P has been hitting record highs over the past month. Like, it's been going stupid. And a lot of this has been held up because of the AI and tech boom. Literally, I think if it wasn't for AI, the stock market would not be on fire like it is. And there's been some very respectable investors who have been saying that this is an AI bubble similar to the dot-com bubble, and they feel like it's going to burst soon. Robert Kiyosaki, he's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There was another investor, I'm forgetting his name. He's been warning that, hey, this looks very familiar, so you might not want to get your hopes up too high, and you might want to just, cash out, put some cash on the side. You know what I'm saying? And just sit it there for a sec, because I think it was Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I believe that they started selling off massive amounts of stocks that they owned and just sitting on cash. So something is happening. Big money, they are wise, and it look like they're cashing out and parking their cash. But we will continue to monitor the situation and be vigilant, people. Just because somebody's offering you some, AI feature that allow you to get, automated trades and make all of this extra bread and yield, like, nah, man. A lot of shit is scams, y'all. So please be vigilant. All right. Thank everybody for their thoughts and their commentary on that. All right. So the next story, this also is some positive news in crypto. I really, really like this. All right. So Paxos, all right. Paxos, they're a heavily regulated financial tech company and blockchain infrastructure company that enables institutions to safely custody, trade, and issue digital assets. Well, they have achieved a major regulatory breakthrough after the SEC approved its subsidiary, Paxos Security Settlement Company, as a registered clearing agency, making it the first blockchain native firm authorized to provide security clearing and settlement services as a central securities depository in the United States. So the approval allows Paxos to legally process and settle security transactions under the SEC oversight, potentially enabling near instant blockchain based settlement instead of the slower traditional systems dominated by institutions like the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, that is the DTCC. Paxos says its infrastructure could reduce operational costs, improve capital efficiency, and help accelerate the growth of tokenized securities by markets by providing regulated settlement rails for blockchain based stocks, bonds, and financial products. Man, this is phenomenal. Shout out to Paxos, all right, for crossing this line. This is something that has never happened with a blockchain company, all right? They will now be providing securities and settlement services throughout the United States for a lot of major institutions. This is huge, all right? So we know they are trying to tokenize Wall Street, all right? BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, he said everything will be tokenized. This is the process, all right? So because Paxos is heavily regulated, they are a trusted entity in the United States, we are going to see blockchain-based stocks and bonds and financial products, but on an institutional level. So this is phenomenal, y'all. This is big when I came across this article. So I gotta ask my co-host and my guests, what's your thoughts on Paxos being the first clearing agency? All right. So who wants to take this first? Who wants to go first? Blue?
I'll go.
Cheese? All right. Cheese, what's your thoughts, Cheese?
I'm not surprised. I mean, Paxos has been around for a minute, and they've been involved on this side of the table. Like, for example, a lot of Paxos Gold, like was has been early. Like they were one of the early projects that got into tokenization of gold. So it makes sense. But the only thing, the things that's not the concern, like overly concerning, but just concerning, like you got to think about how these companies get selected to be to issue securities and all this. Then it's like at some point when they stop giving out these certifications, and then we still have to comply, we end up back in a position where we got to go through these same entities to comply with doing anything in this space. Then it's like, what did we really try to build for? But shout out to all the decentralized and DeFi, the extreme, the real decentralized people.
I appreciate your thoughts, Cheese. Definitely appreciate your thoughts.
Decentralization is starting to turn out to be slightly different from tokenization.
Highlighted that Paxos was one of the first companies to start tokenizing gold. That's how I first found out about Paxos. I was like, wow, somebody's doing something like that. All right, we're going to go down the line. We're going to go from Blue. We're going to go to Tia if you got thoughts on this. And our guy Larry with his hand up. So we're going to go in that order.
No, for sure. It's a big deal. They have 18 months to prove for the rest of us, basically, how Wall Street can still play the game in this stocks and bonds, because everything is going to be tokenized. So they have to play or they have to die. And so Wall Street isn't going to be replaced. It's going to absorb it. And they're going to use this company, to Cheese's point, they're going to use this company to be able to make sure that they are still good, and they have 18 months to prove that to them. So, yeah, that's my take. Tia?
I really didn't have anything on that when she said about the first to, tokenize gold, essentially. Shout out to, I think it was called Veritasium or something like that. That's all I got.
Got you. All right. Larry, what's your thoughts on this, brother?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I wonder, because I think they filed back in August of 2025 for this, right? But I just wonder if any of it has to do with the timing of the new SEC chairman being sworn in. So I think this is kind of just an indication that with that changing of the guard, and then even with the Stand With Crypto, with the work that they're doing to get put more pressure on the policymakers to pass, these different crypto related regulatory acts. I mean, you're seeing the stuff come together right in front of you. So I think it's great. It's definitely great and a step in the right direction. I just wonder if the timing has anything to do with the changing of the SEC chairman.
Now, Larry, you brought up a great point. And we got some economic news coming this week, so prepare for a volatile market. That is a great point. We have a new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh. All right, we got him in there, and I believe he's going to have his first statement this week, and we're going to see if he's going to cut rates, he's going to freeze rates, or he's going to raise them. We don't think he's going to raise them, but the Fed has not been doing anything over the past, 9 months? I think the last time they did a cut was over a year ago or something like that, or close to a year. So, yes, that is an interesting point that you brought up.
That's what I meant, Federal Reserve. I didn't mean to say SEC, bro.
I follow you, brother. Nah, we on the same page. Well, I appreciate your thoughts. Definitely appreciate everybody's thoughts on that. So we will continue to monitor this situation and see how this plays out. And like I said, prepare to see volatility in the markets this week. All right. So I appreciate everybody's thoughts on that. So here's the funny thing. All right. We talked about Jamie Dimon earlier. All right. But he has really been talking shit about the whole blockchain community. But now he called out Brian Armstrong. He's the CEO of Coinbase. And, Brian Armstrong, super pro crypto. He's definitely for stablecoin rewards. And obviously, Jamie Dimon represents the banks, and he don't like the stablecoin rewards. Okay? So, Jamie Dimon publicly attacked Brian Armstrong over the proposed Clarity Act, escalating the growing battle between Wall Street banks and the crypto industry over the future of digital finance. So, Jamie Dimon warned that major banks would aggressively oppose parts of the legislation unless lawmakers tighten rules around stablecoin reward programs, arguing that crypto firms offering yield-like returns on stablecoins such as USDC are effectively acting like banks without facing the same regulatory oversight, capital requirements, or consumer protections. So Coinbase and other crypto companies, however, argue that stablecoin rewards create better financial opportunities for consumers and help modernize payments and digital finance infrastructure. Okay, so this was a public spat, and it was the first time I heard Jamie Dimon say. It was just funny that he was just that blunt about it, But sometimes I think this is for theatrics. I just think the same way we got Republicans and Democrats on camera, they'll go at it. But then once the cameras are off, they're golfing together, they're making investments together. You know what I'm saying? So it's all a game. I think this is theatrics. And Jamie Dimon is a hypocrite, okay? Because they got the JPM coin. He says, yeah, we like blockchain, but, we don't fuck with Bitcoin. Okay, bro. You know what I'm saying? We don't believe you. You need more people. You know what I'm saying? Just straight facts, man. But did anybody see this video? It's funny just seeing Jamie Dimon just He's performative, man. Every time he gets on camera, he's just extra. You know, he's like the same way Elizabeth Warren is so anti-crypto. I think they are. You know, when you got people who are like super against shit, but on the low they be really into it. It's like the people who be like gay bashing, you know, the whole community, but then on the low they be doing some gay shit. I think this is what they doing. I think Jamie Dimon has a boatload of fucking crypto, especially Bitcoin. I think Elizabeth Warren has a ton of fucking crypto, and they just gotta play the theatrics. This is just my thoughts, but I gotta ask my co-hosts and my guests, what's your thoughts on these guys having a public back and forth, you know, in time frame? What do you guys think the time frame will be when the Clarity Act will officially be signed off and approved? Who wants to go first? Tia, you got your hand up. The floor is yours.
Yeah, they're definitely two birds. Same bird, two different wings, flying together. And so for me, like you said, Jamie Dimon, he has always, from when he said, you know, Bitcoin was, I forget what the exact thing was, horseshit 2.0 or something like that. Cow manure. He essentially called it cow manure. Then, like 18 months, he's like he's all for Bitcoin and crypto. So his track record just doesn't match what comes out of his mouth hardly ever. You know, I love the analogy that you gave when you said how men who gay bash all the time be secretly in the closet. That's essentially what this is giving. But in terms of like the Clarity Act, as of right now, they're looking, and I can speak to this because it's public info. The vote is potentially going to be June 22nd. Potentially. Right. It's not set in stone, but potentially June 22nd. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing, hence, is today the 1st? No. Today's the 1st, right? Or 31st?
31st.
31st. So tomorrow's the 1st. So throughout the entire month of June leading up to the 22nd, just encouraging everyone in the community and even their extended communities, friends, family, relatives, and stuff like that, to continue to engage with their official politicians. Larry, I know you're in California. Most of us are here in Georgia, so that'll be Warnock and Ossoff that will be signing off on that. So we're going to have a big community push to, obviously, I know my dude is always in the background next to me, but we're going to have a big community push to send letters, send emails, make phone calls to really get the clarity push. At the end of the day, nobody wins when a family feuds. And it's advantageous for both parties to get it done. Let's get it done and sort it out in the back end. But the faster that we get clarity, the faster that we can move this industry along. They know it. We know it. They're just doing this dumbass dance for whatever reason. I don't know, you know, but it's okay. It's okay. Let the billionaires fight. But let's make sure that we're in position, and let's make sure we're fighting for what we want on the back end as well. So that's my message.
To your great point, and we appreciate that information. June 22nd, put that on your calendars, y'all. Keep an eye out. Hopefully, we can get this thing passed before they go into recess, because they do take that summer break, and it just so happens that is the day after the summer solstice. So hopefully they're in alignment. Thank you for that information, Tia. Blue, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, what we're seeing right now is a battle for, like, our next generation, like, the next wave of the financial infrastructure, you know? Mm-hmm. The bank lobbyists, their pockets are deeper, and they have a little bit more pull in certain things. However, it conflicts with what Trump's, plan is. Mm-hmm. And so, therefore, like, for the first time in life, they're hitting a wall. And so they're just trying to buy more time, you know what I'm saying, to figure out how to still control, like, the deposits and the lending and the payments and the settlements through, like, their new stablecoin system because they can't do everything that they used to do, but they still will figure out a way to have like a copy of the system embedded into like the new stablecoin system. Even like when they vote for the Clarity Act and everything like that, all of this is to make sure that the banks can still stay in the fight. That's what this whole thing is about. It's not about blockchain anymore. It's literally about like how they get to own like the rails to the customers and the revenue that the digital assets control, because it's a new system. It's the people who used to sell the CDs out the cars. You know what I'm saying? It's like they gotta understand nobody's coming to the gas station to look for you to buy it out your car. It's like I can do this joint at home. I can buy something at home and I don't need you anymore. But now it's like, how am I controlling this? Because like basically to what Larry was talking about earlier, it's about the people who understand how to own their assets, and then those who don't and don't have that education, and will have a lot of miseducation, to keep them in like a system, the matrix. Like all of this is, hitting each point of like what's going to happen. It is going to happen. They are going to vote for the Clarity Act, but they are going to make sure that these entities still get to engage. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Blue, you brought up a great point. It seemed like what you're saying is they're using stall tactics, so they can get in position because they're late to the party. I mean, obviously, because of the United States not being so embracing of the technology, they couldn't regulate it as fast as other countries. But maybe to your point, they are stalling so they can, set up the rails and be the ones that benefit from crypto, and they trying to cut out, the decentralization part. Because think about that, they still want people, i.e., their customers, to park their digital assets at their facilities, at their banks. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be the custodian of people assets, and they're gonna get the yield off of this stuff. So to your point, man, you made a great point. Yes, I agree. Stall tactics, that's a perspective that we haven't heard yet, but I like that. I really like that. So Cheese, what's your thoughts on what's going on with the Clarity Act? And to Blue's point, she said stall tactics. And do you think what Tia was saying, that June 22nd deadline, do you think we will make the June 22nd deadline for the Clarity Act?
Yes, I'm hopeful. I think just from the stuff that we saw recently with Tia being out there, the rest of the folks being out there, and that being able to move along the Senate banking house. So I am hopeful. And then as far as this goes, Tia said it already, but they are definitely two peas in a pod, because like the JP Morgan coin is on base. Right, that's built on base. So I just say that's it. Like, what are we complaining about?
So basically, she said, like what Blue said, this guy Jamie Dimon is a hypocrite and they playing the game, man. Tia, what you said. Same bird, two different wings. This is the game that they play. They do it with politics all day, left and right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a conversation with somebody and they recently was like, yo, I'm a Republican. I'm like, we talking about crypto. Now, mind you, there are definitely more pro-crypto Republicans than Democrats. And I really feel like Trump tainted the crypto industry by being such a fucking degen and launching a meme coin, a DeFi protocol. He got a bunch of shit going on. You got a HUD-8, the Bitcoin mining company. He got American, what is it called? American Crypto or something like that. There's another company that his sons run. but they are in the trenches. They
Trump
made
accounts.
Hmm?
The Trump accounts.
The Trump accounts. You know what I'm saying? So he's 10 toes down in this, and just with the what was it, the Senate Banking Committee who passed the first part of the Clarity Act, there was only 2 Democrats that crossed over. Like Democrats, man, y'all gotta get on board, man. This is financial freedom. This ain't about like because Trump is a Republican and he's 10 toes into crypto that we can't embrace this industry. It's technology. Embrace it. Because we're gonna get left behind, and innovation is gonna be done in outside of the United States. We don't need innovation to be pushed outside of the United States, man. We gotta encourage our builders, man, to build here in the States, man. You know? So with that being said, we did mention Stellar. Okay, Stellar, they are partnering with the DTCC. They are partnering with them. So Stellar is making some moves, you know. But we do know our government and the central banks, they have a select group of blockchains that they're going to be using. You know, you got your chain links, you got your Algorands, you got your Stellars, you got your Quant, you got your H bars. You know, these are the ones that, you know, the Bank of International Settlements are going to be using. Swift messaging system, they're going to be using this. And they're going to have some banks that's going to create their own stablecoin. So I know I reported this in the past. There's been a group of banks that want to get together to roll out a stablecoin. So the stall tactics that Jamie Dimon is doing and all of the banking industry is doing is, they're not slick, man. We see through it. We see through the game. But yeah, we definitely appreciate everybody's thoughts on that, man. Y'all smoked that, man. Y'all smoked that. So this story that we got here, we mentioned this on Thursday. All right. On Thursday, we talked about SWE having an outage. All right. So I'm gonna tell y'all like this. This is another day. It was consecutive. It was actually Thursday that it happened, the first outage, and Friday the second outage happened. When that second outage happened, man, people just started looking at this platform like, hey, I don't know if I can trust SWE. Now, mind you, Raul Paul, he's been a big advocate of SWE. But I'm gonna tell you like this, I don't know, man. SWE ain't looking too good, so I'm gonna say this right quick. All right. So, and I have some SWE too, man. I had some SWE. I still got some SWE. I got my slush wallet. Okay. SWE experienced another round of network disruptions this week after repeated transactions processing failures hit the chain for a second consecutive day, intensifying concerns about reliability of one of the crypto's fastest growing blockchain ecosystems. Okay, so the issues reportedly stem from validator coordination problems, software upgrade bugs tied to the V172 release, and complications during network epoch transitions following a major outage days earlier that temporarily halted transactions finality across the chain. Our guy Dre, he actually mentioned that, you know, he was caught up in that. Shout out to Dre at Urban Blockchain. The instability weighed heavily on the market sentiment, with the SWE token continuing to slide as traders question the network's ability to maintain uptime while scaling for DeFi gaming, AI applications, and institutional finance. So again, while no users' funds were reportedly lost, the repeated outages have drawn comparisons to earlier growing pains experienced by high-performance networks like Solana, and are raising broader concerns about whether ultra-fast blockchain architectures can balance scalability with long-term operational reliability. So it seems like SWE is having some issues with their chain. So SWE, man, y'all gotta tighten up. Second day in a row. But I think I'm gonna pitch this to Tia first, because I know Tia, she was affiliated with SWE, and SWE, because they had some issues last year, you know, they had to, I guess, revamp and pivot. Tia, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, it's the classic case of the trilemma. scalability, speed, security, essentially. And they're going through that growing pain, and when so for me, the way I look at it is, when you over promise, you gotta over deliver. And one of the things that they definitely over promised was that they were the blockchain that could solve that trilemma the best and most effective. That was kind of like, in my opinion, was their message. It wasn't exactly, but it was essentially that message. And then so, if you remember, literally almost to date, a year ago, was their hack. And even though it was quote unquote potentially, said that it was another third party platform on their chain, however, the way that they handle it and the way that they scrambled, a lot of people, I'm not saying I believed it, but a lot of people believed that it was actually a network issue. And because of that hack, ever since then, Sui has struggled to gain that I guess reputation as a solid chain to build on. And in fact, a lot of projects have left or are dormant on their chain due to that, right? And so, on one hand,